Welcome back. This is going to be part two of the Abdominal Discovery series. I hope you had a chance to explore part one and feeling good because the second part is going to get a little harder and is going to have the first part as a prerequisite. So if you haven't watched the first part yet, please do so. Practice it for a couple of times, maybe a week or so, two, three times a week. And then when you feel a little bit more confident about your abdominals, jump into part two. I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's add our second part, which is going to be our core, a little bit more core. You're going to have your let's do a couple of little pelvic tilts. So it's going to go 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, letting just even movement through the spine, lumbar spine, and pelvis. And then we're going to find the 6 o'clock, which is the away position, and then the heavy kidneys and diaphragm. And then let's lift the right leg, folding the right leg into the socket. Nothing is moving yet, just the leg. Lower the right leg down slowly. Notice when you lower slowly and inhibit movement in your low back, lift the left leg, how that is also the eccentric hip flexor and abdominal work. So you're always looking for that slow lower and slowly lower. I sometimes like to add the idea that I'm moving through mud. I'm lifting the leg, I'm moving through mud. It's going to make it a little bit harder altogether. And then I'm lowering slowly down, moving through mud. And lifting left leg up, folding it in the socket. Let's keep the left leg lifted. Keep your diaphragm heavy, bra strap, kidneys, and lift the right leg as well. So it's our simple thigh fold, and then we're going to lift the shin bones into tabletop. Breathing here, flexing the feet. Push the feet into an imaginary wall and let the probably whole body show up. Not so much the neck here yet, but you're going to push your feet into the wall, find your quads, might even feel a little bit calves. The more you push your feet, feel the back of the legs, hamstrings, and glutes working. Are your shoulders relaxed? Can your collarbones be really wide and your bra strap diaphragm really heavy? Breathing here, and then lower one foot. Keep the heavy kidneys and lower the other foot. Okay, I'm going to do this again. Lifting the right leg up, folding it into the socket. You can go right away into your tabletop if you want, and then lift the left leg up, heavy diaphragm. Push the feet into the wall. Maybe use your hands on your quads and push your hands into your quads as well. And feel your ribs want to pop up off the floor. Keep your diaphragm very heavy. Your 6 o'clock in your pelvis and have your heavy bra strap and kidneys. And feel this is just isometrics where you can really practice a neutral spine with your hip flexors and lower one foot and lower the other foot. Okay, we'll add on. Lifting one leg up, fold it in the socket, keeping your pelvis. Notice if you want to swing your hip out to the side. We're not going to let that happen. The pelvis is very stable. It's two wheels, and they're parallel to one another. Lifting the other leg up. Imagine you can pull those hip bones together, our internal obliques. We've talked about that. You can put your hands to your thigh bones. Push your thigh bones into your hands, and hands push back, heavy diaphragm. Let's lift into the baby lift, and then looking down at the knees. My neck is starting to activate, and I'm going to abdominal curl. Widen the collarbones. Try not to get the shoulders out of the ears and elongate the spine. Come a little bit higher if you can from your stomach, but lay your head a little bit more back onto your imaginary hand. You could even put one hand behind your head, might not even have to push here, and breathe. Use your stomach. This is rectus abdominis. This is quite a bit of work here. And then lower one foot, lower the other foot, and lower your head and rib cage. Let's do that again. Let's start with the head this time. So you're going to lift your head, baby lift, looking down towards the knees. Here's my neck on line. And then I'm going to use my abdominals, lifting the heart. One hand behind your head. Let your head hang back. Feel how that allows for your ribs to drop a little bit more back into the earth. Keep them there as you lift the right leg up. Notice how you want to arch your back. So this is very, very important. Let's lower the right leg back down. Keep your curl, hold your head, lift the left leg up, and keep your ribs heavy. It's very tempting to lose either height in your curl or pop your ribs up. So I have my strap here, so I can say, as I lift my leg, can I now pull the strap out from underneath my rib cage? And ideally, you cannot. If that strap pulls, you've lost your flex in the spine. And then the work is in your lower back or middle back, wherever, right? We all have a spot. So keeping the ribs heavy, lift the right leg back up. Keep your curl, heavy diaphragm, finding your bra strap area, going down. Lower the right leg down. Lift the left leg up. And you might notice there's one side where you have to work way harder to keep the ribs in the earth. Lower left leg down. Take hands from your head and then eccentric, slowly lower head and heart. All right, we'll add one more thing. We're going to add both legs, basically. I'm going to adjust my strap here again. So this is kind of just a nice tool for now to feel where your ribs are in space. Baby lift, forehead lifts, finding our really good neck alignment, hands behind your head, lifting up. I'm going to just use my other hand right now. Let's lift the left leg into the table. Hold it there. Double check. Are your ribs heavy in the strap? Are your sits bones heavy-ish? You don't want to tuck your pelvis to lift the leg up, right? We want to keep the 6 o'clock. Your lumbar spine is slightly off the mat, and then lift the second leg up. Send the diaphragm heavy into the strap, into the earth, whatever you got there, right? Whatever your image is, breathing here. Lengthening the back of the neck. You're not pushing your head forward. You're hanging your head a little bit more back while you keep your ribs really, really heavy. Breathing. Lower one foot. Lower the other foot. And release. I guess we can feel that, right? Okay. Let's add one little bit, a little bit of rotation. The feet stay down. Sits bones are heavy. Kidneys are heavy. Put both hands behind your head. Lisa has allergies today. What else is it? You're going to lift your head and heart up. Hang your head back into your hands. Abdominal curl. And then all we're going to do is take the right elbow. So this is now adding a little bit more oblique work. We're going to take that right elbow up to the ceiling and move the sternum, your breastbone, a little bit over to the left. Can you keep your left rib cage down on the earth? You're not trying to roll all the way over, right? We're going to push with the left rib cage, the mat to the right. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, left elbow reaches up. Keep your ribs on the mat. Try not to let them lift. It's very important. It's a very, very small turn. Thoracic rotation turns more than lumbar, for sure, right? But not as much as head and neck. Come back to center and release. We'll do this one more time, each side. Hip breathing in, and we're going to go abdominal curl. Have your head hang back in your hands. Sits bones stay heavy. Let's go to the right first. Left elbow reaches. Maybe you can take that left hand away from your head and reach your left fingertips toward the right knee. Now we're not going to pull the arm fully forward. It's more just maybe let's just take the hand and say I'm going to push my hand towards the right knee. Pull the right rib cage down into the earth. Keep your head back in your hand, breathing. Take the left hand back to your head. Rotate to center. Turn to the left. Sternum turns, and then take your right hand, push her towards the left thigh bone without locking the elbow or pulling the shoulder too far forward. Breathe. Maybe turn head and neck and sternum a little bit more to the left. Keep your left ribs on the earth. Come back to center and release it down. Very nice. Okay, so let's come up to sitting. We're going to take well, we don't need the blanket anymore, but it doesn't matter. We can use the strap though. So I'm going to actually turn around. So we're finding our abdominals now upright. Talking about the sitting bones, we're going to feel as you're sitting that there's two protrusions going down into the earth. Those are your ischial tuberosities or sits bones. And ideally, we want to sit on them because if we sit behind them, there's no way that my spine can actually be in a neutral place. You will always be more in a flex position. Then we're back at this, right? Which is that not so sexy neck position. Doesn't feel good, doesn't look good. So you're going to send your sits bones back and even feel, right? And this is not an easy thing to do. This is going to take some practice, especially if we've spent a lot of time in this position. And most people at this point have spent decades in this position. So this is why we're practicing this. So knees have a healthy bend. If your legs are straight, you might not even be able to go into any movement that is going towards the 6 o'clock, right? So bend the knees as much as you need to. You can even have your knees kind of turn out a little bit, whatever feels comfortable. You can even sit on a blanket or two. So we're going to, ideally, if it's possible, have the legs parallel to one another. And a rock behind the sits bones. And then let the kidneys come back as well. And feel right away how that talks to your stomach muscles. Because if we arch our back, then it's talking to our back muscles, right? And then if you take your diaphragm back, it's going to talk to our front muscles. And then use your sitting bones, well, your hip flexors to pull your sitting bones back. So the movement is really only happening in the pelvis. So you're going slightly behind your sits bones, and then you're going to pull your heels into the earth and your sits bones into the earth and back, and you're going to rock forward. So this is something, practice it every day. This is a very important skill to own, that you can move your pelvis independently from your legs and from your ribs. Because we don't want to just round like this, because that's hypermobility for my back. I'm pushing into the less sexy place, right? So we're going to not do that. We're going to rock back in the pelvis and then take the kidneys back. So what I like to do here is, and this is already taking up the ante a little bit, I like to take one of my hands behind my head and then take my other forearm over my ribs. And I'm going to create the same position that we had on our back with while we're now sitting in this slightly leaned back position. Breathing here. And as you can reach your head back into your hand and your ribs over your forearm, you should be really feeling your stomach. And then using your hip flexors, i.e., your sits bones are pulling back to come up into a little forward bend. Reach the skull back into your hand. Feel the stomach working. And then from the pelvis, we're going to rock back, hanging your kidneys, relax the shoulders. Can you take your head a little bit more back? Let your hands show up. And there comes a moment where you almost feel like you want to lift your feet up, right? Like, whoa, I want to counter this. Don't go that far. Keep your diaphragm back, hang your head back into your hand. You're going to feel your quads here too. You're going to roll it up from the sitting bones. Diaphragm back, kidneys back. You're tractioning, you're lengthening your back muscles that are generally either too extended and then at the other end too rounded, right? So we're counteracting both postural deviations. Let's do this 2 more times. I'm going to switch hands. So my forearm over my ribs. I'm going to take my diaphragm back. I'm going to pull the heels into the earth. Let the legs really show up here. Rock the pelvis 1/2 inch back. It's not much. Blah. Soften the ribs and then take your diaphragm more back, kidneys more back, and let your head hang in your hand. Breathe. Try not to arch your back. You really got to send the back. If this is really not available, if you cannot feel your stomach, take your hand away from your head and just take your ribs hands in front of the ribs and see if you can take your head back that way. Because if your head is here, again, the work is only in your neck. You're going to round it up. One more time. Rolling back. And then maybe you can take your hands away from your ribs and just kind of work on taking your diaphragm back. Send the head back a little bit more. Breathing. Are my shoulders relaxed? And maybe can I turn my head, neck, and rib cage a little bit to the right? Lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck. And then I'm going to take my head, neck, and rib cage a little bit to the left. Lengthen. Keep the right kidney back. We did it on the floor, but it's much different now while we're sitting upright. Come back to center and roll it up. Very good. Okay, shake the legs out a little bit. And let's come to sitting just in a cross-legged position. This can be a very loose cross-legged position, right? Not like we don't stack your ankles over your knees, especially if you have hypermobility. This is going to be too much. Now let's experience our abs in another, just another way. If your knees are here, sit on a blanket. Just making sure that we don't need the knees to be on the floor, but if the knees are too high, this is not really going to work. So feel the sitting bones here. Ideally, they're evenly grounded. You don't want to sit like that. We're going to get there. So we're going to rock the pelvis a little bit to the right, and you're going to lift the left hip up. Stick your butt out, take your diaphragm back. Can you feel your stomach muscles? Right? You should be feeling right here showing up, and then rock the pelvis back down. And then you're going to rock the pelvis to the left, and you're going to pick up the right hip and feel the stomach here. because the abdominals, we talked about this, are controlling the distance from the rib cage to the pelvis. Now, if my hip was down, this is not so much of an abdominal work, but you're gonna, if you pick your hip up and you're just rocking side to side, you're having to engage your abdominals. Now, this is really important because we really, for healthy back, and especially again with hypermobility or lack of strength, whatever you want to call it, we need to be able to keep our ribs and our hips at an appropriate distance from one another. So just rocking side to side and picking up. Very good. So if you see, look at this, like I'm not side bending here, right? I'm just rocking. One hip lifts, the other hip lifts. One more time, right hip. Now see if we can, maybe, you can use your hand here, take one foot out to the side. And then take that foot in front. And then we're going to rock to the other side. And then maybe you can take the other foot out to the side. So this is now already going into hips. But can you feel your stomach? And then take this foot to the front. If you need to, you can even use your hand a little bit, but use your hand as little as possible. Can I push my bottom leg down to create stability and strength while I'm in this position here? One more time, rocking over. So this can then get into some really nice, fancy earth stuff. Sits bones back, kidneys back, and release. Let's do 3 little circles with the pelvis, moving without the rib cage again. I'll show this from the side. We're not gonna try and do this. The rib cage is in alignment with the pelvis as I'm rocking forward to one side and back. The relationship between ribs and pelvis is not changing. All we're looking for here is, well, it is abdominals, of course, but we are working now as well on creasing of our hips. Flexion of the hip. We'll talk about that next time more. But this is also very important. Let's reverse the circle. And it's really nice to practice it in a sitting way. You can even practice this sitting on a chair, although I prefer the floor, the earth. Because sitting on the earth is so much better than sitting in our lazy boy chairs. It's going to make a lazy spine, a lazy boy.
They should call it lazy spine chair.
Lazy spine chair. Yes. Very good. Nice. Take a little moment. Close the eyes. See how this feels. Where are your shoulders? Maybe they're a little more relaxed than usual. Because if we can hold ourselves better with the neck and with the core, the brain has less desire to pick up the shoulders up into the ears. Maybe the breath is a little deeper. Maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed. Okay, thank you very much. And I'll see you soon.